Mastering modal verbs in passive sentences. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's lesson on mastering modal verbs in passive sentences. This video is specifically tailored for those at the intermediate level in their English language learning journey. You may already be familiar with modal verbs and the passive voice, but have you combined them before? If not, then buckle up because we're about to dive into it. As a quick refresher, modal verbs are special verbs that express necessity, possibility, permission, or ability. These include can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, and ought to. Now, let's remind ourselves about the passive voice. It is a type of sentence structure where the subject is acted upon by the verb. For example, instead of saying, John painted the house, active voice, we might say, the house was painted by John, passive voice. Here's where things get interesting. Modal verbs can also be used in passive sentences. The structure typically follows the pattern: subject plus modal verb plus be plus past participle. Here's an example. The report must be submitted by Friday. Here, must is our modal verb and be submitted is the passive voice component of our sentence. To help you understand better, let's explore each of the most common modal verbs in passive sentences. Can, the task can be completed within an hour. Could, the assignment could be finished by tomorrow. May, permission may be granted after thorough consideration. Might, the lost item might be found in the lost and found box. Will, the cake will be baked by tomorrow. Would, the work would be done if you had started earlier. Shall, the rules shall be followed by everyone. Should, advice should be taken seriously. Must, homework must be submitted on time. Ought to, the document ought to be signed by the director. It's always important to practice what you've learned. Try creating your own sentences using modal verbs in the passive voice. That brings us to the end of our lesson on using modal verbs in passive sentences. Keep practicing and remember, mastering a language takes time and consistent effort. Don't be hard on yourself if you don't get it right away. You're doing great. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next lesson.